Oh man, are you serious? What's up, YouTube? I'm back again trying to figure out this VR-4 situation with this relay. Now, I had a relay yesterday and it didn't work, so I returned it to AutoZone. I went over to O'Reilly's and I got this one, this Import Direct relay. Same exact part number that's on this one right here, the factory one. Fingers crossed that this one is a good relay and it's gonna work. If this one does not work, then obviously it's not the relay's problem. I got something else going on. So I'm gonna plug this in and see what happens.
Round 2, fight!
And I should probably open the garage so I don't kill myself. Still no clutch. What the heck, man? Alright, I have issues because if I pull that relay out and I jump those two terminals, the car starts no problem. I don't like electrical gremlins. I am not good with electrical gremlins. I don't like chasing them down. They're not welcome in my garage. I went ahead and took out the battery and then the battery box base, which I did not know was attached to the windshield washer fluid. And of course, being an old car, when I went to go disconnect this little hose, that piece snapped off, so now I got to replace that. And let's see, pulled off the ground wire that goes to the firewall. I'm gonna get all these connections for this ground wire cleaned up and looking new. Make sure I have good grounds. That might be part of my problem, I don't know. But there's no way it can be two relays in a row, so there's gotta be something else. I'm gonna have to dive into a wiring diagram and find out what these two side terminals even go to. I don't know. Now I have access to, there's the clutch slave cylinder right there, and I've got to try to get access down there a little bit better so I can bleed that. Maybe that'll fix my clutch problem, but there's not a lot of room in here to work. It appears I have some kind of a animal poopy down in there. I don't know if that's a cat poopy or, I don't know, it's a pretty big poopy. You just push it down.
That's down.
Oh. Okay, let it up.
It's up.
Okay, well there's my problem.
What's your problem?
It's not moving anything, it's not doing anything at all.
You want to push it again?
Sure.
Clutch?
Yep.
Let me make sure I got the right one. Left.
All the way to the left.
Clutch, yeah.
Yeah, it's not doing anything, it's not pushing anything. Alright, well that's a problem. And here's where I've ended up so far. What I've discovered is the clutch is not engaging down there at the transmission. It's not even moving. So I think my clutch master cylinder is bad. From what I've read on a lot of these forums and stuff, it's a pretty common issue. Very inexpensive part, just a pain in the butt to get to. So here's my clutch master cylinder right here, and you can see Mitsubishi was nice enough to shove that right up against the firewall in this little area that, you know, obviously I can't get down there to the bolts. So I have to disconnect, well, loosen all the brackets for these AC lines, get that out of the way. I went ahead and got my cruise control setup thing here moved out of the way to give me some more room. I've got to remove the brake master cylinder and booster. That's all I've got to come out, and then I can get in here and get to the bolts for this. Now, when I decide to do spark plugs, this side's pretty easy. I'm going to have to remove the entire intake and most all this crap over here just to get to that side. I'm going to take this cover off and I'm going to strip it down and repaint it with the crinkle black and then polish this stuff up and make it look pretty. It's been, I don't know, probably a couple hours. This is where I'm at. I got the intake manifold off, so now I have access to the back valve cover. I'm not going to take the cover off, I don't think, but I am going to pull the plugs, maybe replace the wires while I'm in here. But look, I mean, just look at all this crap that has to come. I mean, there's just tons of crap mounted to this manifold that all has to come off. I will start cleaning up my manifold so I can get it painted. I'll tell you what, I have learned quite a bit about this car and this engine and all this other junk just in the last 2 days of sitting here messing with this. What I have not figured out yet is why the car will start when I jump 2 terminals of the starter relay, but as soon as I plug in a new relay that I know is good, car won't even turn over. So it's got to be something to do with this clutch situation. We tested the neutral safety switch and that was good. I don't know if, I don't know. I'm just, it's all speculation right now. I've just got a million things running through my head of what it could be and trying to work it out. Hopefully I will find out soon. Welcome back to the struggle that is my VR-4. I was out here this morning working on some stuff, getting some stuff painted because it wasn't extremely hot. It was warm, but it wasn't extremely hot. This is what I'm dealing with right now. I got brake fluid literally everywhere. I have been fighting this brake master cylinder, and all I've been trying to do is get lines popped off. 2 lines, that's it. He even went and bought myself some fancy brake line wrenches that I actually didn't have, which shame on me. I should have had those a long time ago, but I didn't. So, those didn't work. And this is what I'm up against. I finally got this one to crack free. But this one is kicking my butt. And I don't know what else to really do. I was able to get this one down here with a set of vice grips finally, just able to break it loose so I can get a wrench on it. This one, I don't know. I've had vice grips on it and it just doesn't want to go. I guess I'm at the point where I'm gonna have to heat it up maybe. I got the booster out finally. It has taken forever on this stupid car. My God. Check this out. Brake booster is out. Now, all of this crap had to come out back here so that I could get this master cylinder unit out for the clutch. See how it's just jammed way the heck in there? Cars do not have to be overly complicated. I mean, the first Model T that came out, it went down the road just fine. It didn't have the horsepower that these cars have. However, it got people where they needed to go, and they were cheap and reliable, and they weren't overcomplicated. All right, I believe I have found the culprit, and this is a common issue on these cars, apparently, from what I've read. This thing is seized inside. I don't want to move. Apparently these parts are like 30 bucks, but you have to go through all of this work just to get this stupid thing out. Now, since I've gone through all this work and I've got all this stuff disconnected, That's why I was blowing back through that hydraulic line all the way back there just to make sure, you know, there's nothing in there, just to double check myself. Check out my intake. I think this came out really well. I'm pretty happy with it. And I've got a valve cover over here. There she is with the crinkle paints. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing to the lettering and just make it nice and shiny. It's a weird thing. You work on something so long and your mind kind of just zooms in and narrows in on one particular thing, and you don't really see the broad picture. And when I was talking to a buddy of mine, kind of explaining what I was dealing with, he mentioned that it's a trigger wire to the relay. So it's not necessarily the relay, because I could jump the points. It's one of the trigger wires coming from either side, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the clutch. It may be that clutch switch has gone bad, and I don't know. I'm going to look into possibly replacing that. I've gone this far. You know, if it's not a super expensive part, then I'm just going to replace it and be done with it. All right, there's the culprit. So this is my clutch switch, and it's kind of blurry, but that little round rubber thing should come down and touch the top of that switch when the clutch is depressed, but it's never making it down to it. So it's not making contact. And that is probably why the car will not start. Now I'm kind of beginning the cleaning process of the interior on this car. And when I removed that spare tire, lifted it up, this is what I find. I don't even know how many receipts or pieces of paper that is right now, but I'm gonna start kind of peeking through some of it. But it's just, I don't know why it's all stashed underneath the spare tire. It's the weirdest thing. None of these are receipts, they're just pieces of paper, and most of them have the number 7 or the number 8 on them, and nothing else. They're just, I have no idea. Maybe there was a raffle and only 2 people entered. And there's a receipt from Specs Liquor for, it looks like a carton of cigarettes, and it's dated November 6th of 1996. So I pulled up the floor mat, and there's all these cables, like coax cables, like weird old school cables. Look at that. I don't know what that's for. I hope I didn't just pull that seat out and rip something off. First start and first drive. Not very far, but that's a win. Yes. Thanks so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. I'm getting super close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. Woohoo! I appreciate you guys that watch my little channel and dig the cars that I'm working on. So if you like 3000 GTs, Ferrari 308s, old 80s wagons, or even a DeLorean, heck, even a little Ranger, I'm going to get started on that not too long. If you like that stuff, if you're into that stuff, click like, click subscribe, and I'd sure appreciate it. Stay hungry, stay foolish.